Hi, Sel.
Hi.
So, what's going on in math here, girl?
Daddy.
Something?
No.
Did you say something?
No.
Or did you say nothing? Get your math out first. If anybody else wants to be on time, then they'll have to go back and watch the video. All right, new lesson, lesson 129. Dividing a decimal number by a whole number. This is actually not that difficult to do. In all honesty, you will find that that is the case. Come on, let's go here. Okay. You'll see a weird face here in a minute. Well, you already see a weird face. I forgot. It's me. All right. Stop that one. All right. All right. So on this particular lesson, and so we're going to go ahead and do it on the whiteboard here. And all right. So in dividing a decimal number by a whole number, we're going to use the two examples they have there. We'll start with the 4.8 divided by 2. So the thing that's going to be different from normally dividing, the only thing that's going to be different, and let me change colors here to make it easier to see. All right, so 4.8 divided by 2. The main thing that's going to be different here, hold on, I got somebody else coming in. All right, so the main thing that's going to be different here is the first thing you have to do when you have a decimal number and you're dividing it by a whole number is to move that decimal right up there. So that's where the answer goes. This is why it's important to make sure that you are, it's important to make sure that you, oh, let me think, hold on. That you are writing your numbers above what you're dividing, okay? So for instance, some people might write, if they have 2 goes into 4, oops. They have 2 that 2 goes into 4, they might write the 2 right there. They're just not paying attention and not being careful. So you want to make sure you're writing it right above. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract, bring down the next number. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Okay, and so the 4 goes above where the 8 is. All right? And so then, of course, 4 times 2 is 8, and then I subtract, I have 0. Now with a decimal number, whenever you're doing a decimal number, you will never have a remainder for a decimal number. Never. You should never have. If you have a remainder and you're dividing a decimal by a whole number, then you've got another mistake somewhere. You probably divided something incorrectly or something like that. Okay? So make sure that you are doing that correctly. Look at that second one. The second one is basically the same type of thing. They just wrote it in a different way. 0.42 divided by 3. Now, don't ask me why this is the case. I couldn't tell you necessarily. But for some reason, there are people, and I've had it in sometimes it's like almost in a whole class that has a problem with it. My 6th grade class was one of them. They finally, after this last year, finally have gotten it toward the, right before break that we had. They would have written it like this. Because they're so used to saying it and seeing it this way, that direction where you have from left to right, you're reading it, 0.42 divided by 3. They're so used to that they automatically write it the same way down here, but that's not the way it is. This on the bottom is incorrect, okay? This on the bottom is exactly opposite of what it's supposed to be. And so you want to make sure that you write then everything correctly. The thing that's being divided goes in the box, okay? And so we have 3 on the outside. Now, what's the first thing I do, Giselle, when I'm dividing a decimal number?
You put a decimal.
Very good. Put a decimal right above it. And so we'll get rid of those things there. All right, and so now, here's the first question. Does 3 go into the 0?
No.
So we put 0 there. Okay, that's important because there would be some people who put 3 goes into 4 and they might put a 1 there instead, and that's not the proper answer there. So we've got that, and then we could put 3 now goes into 4. You take the first 2 numbers now together, since the first one didn't have, it couldn't go into the first one. 3 goes into 0, 4 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract, and you get 1. You don't need to worry about the decimal down here. You just need to worry about what you're writing, subtracting the numbers like normal. Otherwise, whoever's doing that, please stop. Is that you, Giselle?
No.
Who's doing that? Maybe it was an accident. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so we have then. Okay. So then we have 1, and then we bring down the 2. And then so 3 goes into 12 now 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. And like I said, with a decimal number, you won't have any remainders. Now, for right now, this is all you're doing. This is the same type of division you've been doing. You're just now doing it with a decimal in the number that you're dividing. So it's not difficult to do. So let me give you some practices here. All right, go ahead and do that one there. That's incorrect, Nathan. See, this is part of your issue, Nathan, because I was grading tests, and I was noticing with you and several others, that's correct, Elizabeth, that you guys are trying to do things in your head, but then you make simple mistakes that you should not make, but you do, and so you end up, that's correct, Platypus, but you do, and so that ends up getting the wrong answer. Of course, it counts completely wrong when you do that. Alina and Tejas, you're good? Okay, how does 6 go into 3 times?
Yeah.
What is 3 times 6, Giselle?
18.
And why didn't you put 18 down there? Or did you? Let me see your work again. Lift it up a little higher. Higher. Yeah, see, you didn't even put, no, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so how many times does 6 go into 3 first, Giselle?
0.
Then put the 0 there first. Then take both numbers together. How many times does 6 go into 36? Since you weren't able to divide into 3, you have to take both numbers. That's correct. Good job. Now you got it. Have I seen yours yet, Schlock? Yuri, have I seen yours? No. Nathan, good. Morning, Ella.
Good morning. I didn't see the time, and then I just saw it's 05. Quickly came to class.
Okay. That's incorrect, Schlock. Schlock, actually show the work. And then Tejas and Elijah, at the end of this time or class today, I need you two to stay behind real quick, okay? That is correct, Yuri?
Я уже вторую делаю. Till the end, it's fast.
Angelica, yours is correct. Sorry, I just noticed it was there. That's correct, Schlock. So Ella, do you know what to do on this?
No.
Okay, I'll show you in a second. It's basically like regular division, but when we go over it, I'll show you exactly what we're supposed to do here.
Okay.
Make more room for myself there. Who haven't I seen yet? Oh, Giselle, go ahead. Keep going, Giselle. You're good. And Elijah, do you know what to do? You got to turn your microphone on.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Let me see your answer. Yes, Giselle.
I already showed mine.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I just remember you left, so I thought maybe you hadn't done it yet. And now I remember, though. Somebody left. Correct, Elijah. So, all right, so let me show you then. Ella, in particular, pay attention to this. So your first step when you're dividing a decimal number by a whole number is to take the decimal that's in the number and put it right above where it is in the number on the answer, okay? Then you check to see if your number will go into the first digit, and in this case it doesn't, so we put a 0 above there. And then we multiply it. Well, you don't even have to multiply it, really. Then you take your 6 and put it into, or your divisor, and put it into your entire number now, since you didn't use that 3 the first time. 6 goes into 36 6 times. Now, all the time with the decimal number, you should never have a remainder. Okay, so that's how that works. Does that make sense? Ella, you got to turn your microphone on.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. So I'm going to give you one more here, everybody, and let's see if we can get this one done. All right. Okay, 0.65 divided by 5. Make sure you set it up correctly. Correct, Yuri, and Nathan, and Elizabeth. Paige is good. That's good, Elijah. Bless you. Bless you. Yeah, next time get a tissue. Yes, you, Schlock. Correct, Alina? Oh, it was David that left. That's who it was. That's incorrect, Angelica. Hi, David. Welcome back. Oh, Angelica's coming back in again.
It kicked me off.
That's fine. Yeah, sometimes I don't know what it does. Giselle, that's correct. Good job. Schlock, that is not correct. Why are you subtracting it? It's a division. Maybe you can't see it. Sorry about that. It's a division problem. Oh, there goes somebody else. Oh no, that's just Nazar's gone. Correct, Perry the platypus. Good job, Schlock. And Ella, have I gotten yours yet? I don't think so. Get that wild background look like keep disappearing into. He's being sucked into the vortex, into another dimension. Dimension of the past with her little brother and sister. Correct, Ella. Good job. All right. Still waiting for Angelica, I think, right? Or did you get it?
Mr. Jones, I sent it to you.
Yeah. Oh, you had it incorrect, I said. That's not the correct answer. So just and Angelica, you can just watch me what I'm doing and see. If you already worked ahead of me, that's fine. Right. All right, so there we go. That should be your answer, 0.13. Now, some people were having some difficulties with certain types of problems that were on one of the tests that we had recently. And so I want to cover that really quickly. Just certain ones. I know there's some of you that had problems on almost all of them, so can't go over all of them though. Don't have time for that right now. Anyway, so we have this type of problem first. All right. What needs to be done first, Elizabeth? Or what do you think the answer? Do you know the answer? Microphone.
2.5.
Yes, but on your test, you put 3.5. You didn't convert the 6 to 5 and 2 over 2 minus 3 and 1 over 2, which equals 2.5. But you got it correct now, so that's good that you know that. All right. Let me see if I can find a different one that some people had difficulty with. Most of the times what I see people having difficulty with, it seems to be the fraction type of things. Or division. When you guys are doing your I am, but go ahead. There's no discounted or anything. It's all one price. It's $26.50. No, he didn't say that. I saw the text he sent. It wasn't that at all. They had to order by Monday in order to get one. But I haven't ordered them yet, so I can't. They could still order technically. Yeah, just tell them to let me know or let you know. But if yeah, it was sent to all the parents. He sent like 2 or 3 text messages to let them know about it. All right, nice. All right, so here we go. Let's look at this type. Where was that one? All right. Giselle, especially. Look at this one. Okay. Giselle, how many times 6 go into 6? My microphone.
1.
Okay, 1 times 6 is 6. 0, bring down the 0. How many times does 6 go into 0?
0.
So you got to put a 0 there. Okay, and then you bring down the 1. How many times does 6 go into 1?
0.
So you got to put another 0 there. Then you bring down the 2. How many times does 6 go into 12?
2.
So it's that forgetting about each, you got to do each number individually and divide it. And some of you are forgetting to do that. And then you're ending up with an answer of 102, which 102 times 6 is only 612, not 1002. And so you want to make sure that you're doing that correctly, okay? Are there any others, by the way, because I know some of you are having difficulties with certain types of problems, but you're not asking, because I know you're so overwhelmed on with all the work you've got now, because you got to get those extra 3 or 4 hours of sleep a day, and so in any case, what types of problems can I help you with? Anybody? Tell me. Look through your books. Tell me the types that you're struggling with. Give me some indications as to how to help you. Okay, go ahead, Yuri. You got to turn your microphone on.
The thing that you have to like divide a fraction.
Dividing by a fraction, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so for instance, if we had 1/3 divided by 7/8, something like that. Okay, so the rule is you cannot divide by a fraction, right? I had to put those dots in there so the schlock didn't get confused. So you cannot divide by a fraction. So you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So you take that same number and you multiply by the reciprocal of 7/8, which is 8/7. Okay? So then you just multiply like you would normally multiply across, and there's your answer. Okay? So it's always that second one that you flip, not the first one that you flip. All right? That's a good question, because I think a couple other people probably were a little confused about that. What else? Come on, guys. Elijah, Tejas, I'm going to talk to you about something. So Nathan, go ahead. Microphone.
Multiplying like a whole number by a fraction.
Okay. And that's fine.
Like
and I understand it can be confusing, but here's the idea.
Like a whole number times.
What's half of 6?
3.
Okay, so the answer is 3, right? Because it's 6 times a half. So it's half of, because of means, or we can do it like this. What's half of 6? Okay, right?
Oh, that makes it easier.
Well, it does, but not all of them are that easy. So I want to show you the process. The whole idea is this. When you're multiplying a whole number by a fraction, just take your whole number and make it a fraction by putting it over 1. What we have a tendency to do is we see this 6, and it looks like it's next to the 1 and next to the 2. And it's not. It's actually on top. We just don't show it on top because it's a whole number. And so we have to make it so that the 6 is over a 1, because 6 over 1 is equal to 6. So it makes sense, right? And so you take that, now you can multiply the 6 times 1 and the 1 times 2, and you get 6. So we'll get rid of that. 6 over 2, which of course is equal to
3.
3. And you know that half of 6 is 3, so you know that that's correct. Okay? I saw somebody else's hand. Was that yours, Giselle, earlier? Oh, you have one, Elijah? Go ahead. Microphone.
So I'm kind of confused sometimes with percentages.
Okay, in what sense? Give me an example. Or is it any time there's a percentage?
If there is if
Look through your book and see if you can find one that confuses you. Same thing, Giselle, did you have one already that you wanted to ask about? Go ahead, and then while he's looking, you can go ahead and ask me what you want to ask about.
I have sometimes hard times reducing fractions.
Reducing fractions, okay. So you, does anybody remember where those rules were for reducing fractions? The, I can't remember what they're called. Divisibility rules, does anybody remember where those are? Do you have a card, Giselle, in your book that says divisibility rules?
I don't. Mine's at school.
Okay. Well, let me give them to you again. Okay. Who has those? Alina? Hey, Alina, anybody who has them, would anybody be willing to send a picture of your card to Giselle? Or, you know, send it to her. Can you get on Skype still, Giselle? Can you still get on Skype?
Yeah.
Because they can Skype the message to you. They can Skype a picture of it to you, of the rules. But the rules are basically this. You have anything is divisible by 2 if it's even. Anything is divisible by 3 if it the digits add up to 3. So like if you have 123, you add 1 plus 2 plus 3, and what's the answer? 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is. So is 6 divisible by 3?
Yeah.
Then you know that 123 is divisible by 3. Okay? And you know a number is divisible by 5 if it ends in a 0 or 5. Okay? Then you know a number is divisible by 9. Now this one you don't use very often, but same thing if the digits add up to a number divisible by 9. So for instance, if I have 351, 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 1 is 9. That means 351 is divisible by 9 because what they add up to is divisible by 9, okay? And then you have the last one, which is a 10, and that's if it ends in a 0, then it's divisible by 10. All right, so for a fraction, okay, you have to have you have to have the same rule for the top number and the bottom number in order to be able to reduce it, okay? So let's do a fraction. Like my erasing abilities here. All right, so on a fraction then, we'll change colors here. Let's say we have a fraction and it is 6/9, okay? Now the first rule says if the number is even, it's divisible by 2. Now the top number is even, but the bottom one's not, right? So that means they're not both divisible by 2. The second rule is divisible by 3. Are they both divisible by 3? Okay, so you divide that one by 3. If I can get it to work here. So that one you divide by 3, and that one you divide by 3, and then you get the answer of 2 over 3. And so you've reduced it down, okay? All right, I'll get to you in a second, Nathan. All right, so let's try a different one then. And so like 4/10, okay? Now, that one, they're both even. And so they're both divisible by 2, okay, because of that rule. And so it's good to have that card because that'll help you to know whether it's divisible by. Okay, yeah. Somebody making some noise here. Ah, that's better. Okay. So we know that that one's divisible by 2 because it's even, and that one's divisible by 2, it's even. So they're both divisible by the same number. They have to be divisible by the same number in order for you to reduce it, okay? And so that would equal then 2/5. And so that's the rule for all of them. Let me give you one more to show you. So let's say you have something like that, 65 over 100. Who can tell me what both of those are divisible by? Okay, David?
5.
Yeah, both are divisible by 5 because they both end in a 0 or a 5. Okay, and so that rule that they're divisible by 5 if they both end in 0 or 5. So the first one, it goes into it. When you divide it by 5, it equals, anybody know? Anybody do it in their head? What is it, Nathan?
13.
Yeah, it's 13. And then the bottom one's divisible by 5. You know the answer is,
50.
what'd you say?
50. 20.
Not 50, yeah, 20. Okay, so you can reduce that one down by dividing them both by 5, and it follows that rule. Okay, so as long as the top one and the bottom one are divided by the same number, then you're okay. All right, does that help you, Giselle? And so somebody can send that picture of the divisibility rules, and then you can just use it for any time you can see whether you need to reduce a fraction. Oh, and there was another one that some people are having difficulty with, and I'll just do this one more, and then I'll ask Nathan. Hold on, Nathan, I'll get to you in a second. There are some of those questions where they have multiple parts. So, for instance, on their last test, okay, 6 minus, and then they had parentheses, 3 3/4 minus 1/4. Okay. Now, one of the problems that I've seen people do is they would subtract the 3/4 and the 1/4 and come up with 2/4 and forget all about the 3. Okay. That doesn't usually happen in a problem like this, but it usually happens in a problem where they are adding, for instance, if they added 9 3/4 plus 4 3/4, they would add the 3/4 and the 3/4 and get 1 2/4, but then they would forget to add the 9 and the 4 back to that as well. So you've got to remember to add that original amount. That's one problem, but the real problem I'm talking about on this particular one is this. So you get this part, you do this 3 3/4 minus 1/4 is equal to what? So we know the 3/4 minus 1/4 is what?
2/4.
2/4. So then with the 3 whole numbers, so we get 3 2/4, and then you can reduce that to 3 1/2 because both are even, so you can divide them both by 2. But then they circle that as their answer, but that's not the answer. Why? Because they forgot to say 6 minus 3 1/2. So you gotta go back and do that 6 minus 3 1/2, which makes your answer, as Elizabeth told us earlier, this exact same problem. What is the answer, Elizabeth? You remember, Elizabeth, what the answer was? Microphone.
2.5.
Yeah, 2 1/2. Because you change this to 5 2/2 minus 3 1/2. So it's 5 minus 3 is 2, and 2/2 minus 1/2 is 1/2. All right. Now, Nathan, what was your next question?
I have trouble sometimes with like dividing large numbers by 2 or 3 digits. Like, for example, 4,250 divided by 25 or something.
Okay.
I have trouble with a lot of them.
Divided by 25. All right. So,
Yeah.
so you're basically trying to figure out, and sometimes it might take trial and error, but if you
Yes.
take 25 and you put it into 42, how many times does it go into it?
Only one?
12.1.
What? One?
Oh, yeah, 1. Okay. Did you say 0.1 at first?
No, one.
Oh, okay, okay. So 1 times 25 is 25, and then you do your subtraction. So it's the same thing. You know 25 doesn't go into 4. You don't need to put a 0 there because it's not a decimal. So 25 does not go into 4. So then you go to the 2 numbers together, 42. And then you subtract, and you're going to get 17 when you subtract. Okay?
Okay.
So then you bring down the next number. Now,
Yeah, it gets larger and the
yeah, if you subtract and you get large, let's do an example. I know what you're asking now. All right, so everybody watch what he's talking about. All right, let's do this. Now, maybe you know the answer already, but don't say it. What he's trying to figure out, sometimes the numbers aren't that easy to do, okay? So, in fact, I'm going to make one up for you, Nathan.
Okay.
All right, so, oops. All right, so we're going to do 1,071 divided by 17, okay? So you can see right there, everybody, okay, we know that 17 doesn't go into 1. It doesn't go into 10. The question is, how many times does it go into 107, right? And so this is where you struggle because you're not exactly sure. So let's imagine we just chose as our number 5, okay? So we just say 5. We multiply 5 times, we'll multiply 5 times 7, and that's 35, okay? Then we multiply 5, so we add the 3 to that. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. Now, we subtract, and we get 22 as our answer. You notice that 22 is larger than my divisor. What does that mean?
That not
Anybody, what
maybe-
does that mean? Some of you look confused.
Add one
Wait,
more.
Micah, what?
Then you need to add one more.
Yes, so you didn't go high enough is the idea then, Nathan, okay? So if you have a remainder and it's more than your divisor, you haven't gone high enough. So we have to go back then, and we have to change the 5 to a 6. So 6 times 7 is 42. Carry the 4. 6 times 1 is 6 plus. So now we have a number that's close enough that it won't be more than your divisor. So then we subtract, and we get 5 as our answer. Okay. Then we bring down the 1. 17 goes into 51 3 times exactly. And so 7 times 3, 51, and there's your answer. Now, it takes trial and error. And so you just have to keep your eye open to that type of thing, because you're trying to get as high as you can without going over is the idea. Does that help, or do you have other questions similar?
I think that helps.
Okay. Anybody else? Other questions? Go ahead, Alina.
When you put percentage in a fraction,
Okay.
like how to, I don't know how to say it.
I'm not sure. Oh, well, see if you can find something, because there are different things that works with that. So I need to know kind of exactly what you're talking about.
Like when you're supposed to divide it or something,
Divide what?
the percentage, which is in a fraction.
Okay. Still not quite sure what you mean. So, for instance, on number 6 on 128, A, you have your book open there?
Yes.
Okay, so if number 6 on A, it says write the reduced fraction equal to 80%. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so when you have a percent, you can automatically take that percent. So for instance, 80%, and to make it a fraction, all you do is take whatever this number is and put it over 100, okay? So that becomes 80 over 100. Quick, easy thing here for everybody. If you have the top number on your fraction and the bottom number ending in 0, only if it ends in 0, you can cross the zeros out. And now all you have left is 8/10. So what does that fraction reduce to? You see how I crossed out the zeros there? Because they both have a 0, I can cross those zeros out. So what does 8/10 reduce to? Yuri?
4/5.
Yeah, so then it equals 4/5 at the end. Does that help, Alina? So basically all you're doing is taking your percent, you just put it over 100 and then reduce the fraction afterward, if it can be reduced. So every time, it's actually kind of easy. It's really not terribly difficult once you realize that. So for instance, if I said 27% and I wanted to make it a fraction, I just make 27 over 100, okay? That make sense?
Yes.
All right. So so anyway, is that the only question you have, or you have any other kind similar to that with percents? Anybody else questions with percents or anything else? Okay, Elijah, go ahead.
So, I was asking you like the same question, and on lesson 126,
Okay.
number 1, I don't really understand the probability. What is probability and chance? Like, what is the difference?
Okay, so probability is basically they're both kind of the same idea. It's just that the probability is shown as a fraction, whereas the chance is shown as a percent. So, for instance, so in that particular one, the first one, it says, what's the probability of rolling a 6 with a single toss of a number cube? So how many 6s are there on a number cube?
1.
So the probability is 1 out of 6, because there's only 1 out of the 6 total, okay? But then I take that fraction and I turn it into a percent by doing what, do you know? Because that's gonna be the same question for the second one. It's just changing it into a percent. You know how to do it or no? You sort of remember.
I forgot.
As soon as I show you, you'll remember.
Yeah.
You multiply by 100% over 1. And then that's going to equal 100% over 6. And then you take your 100% and you divide it, since all fractions are a division problem, 100% divided by 6. Six goes into 10 once. All right, and 6 goes into 40, you know, because you bring the 0 down. 6 goes into 46 times. Then you have 4 left. There's no more numbers to bring down, and so we take this and make it a fraction, which would be 4/6%, but then you can reduce that fraction to what?
2/3.
Very good. Okay. That make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. All right. Yuri, you look like you've been having fun. Okay. Hopefully that's not a football helmet, because if it is, it's not going to protect much. Probably splatter glow stuff in your eyes and make your eyes glow. That would be kind of cool. All right, so no other questions about this. All right, so nobody has any other type things they're struggling with that they remember? All right, let's go ahead to language really quickly then. All right, we're not going to talk about the paper part. I'm still waiting for rough drafts from people, and I haven't gotten very many at all, unfortunately, for your grades. So let's go over, though, to where we were yesterday in page 2. I think it was 248. You were supposed to finish.
248 and 250.
Yeah, so 248, let's look there first.
Mr. Owens,
Yes.
I didn't do it because I had to go to a doctor appointment, and then they put like an IV in my arm, hurt, so I couldn't write.
That's fine, and I'm not worried about that, because I knew you were at the doctor yesterday, Schlock. So just write in the answers that are here as we go through them. Some of you may automatically know anyway on your own. going to get out of this one since we're done. All right, so let's look at number 9, because that was the next one. We did 1 through 8. So number 9, what is the opposite of safety? Who figured that one out? Tejas, go ahead.
Peril.
Yes, peril. Somebody is in peril. In fact, if you remember in the Bible, Paul talks about in perils often. In other words, his life was in danger, was the idea. And so you can see safety and peril would be opposites of each other. Yes, sir, David.
We did 1 through 10.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Oh, anyway, we're going to do this anyway. I don't remember doing that one. All right. Strong, opposite. So,
Weak.
okay. 11, ignorance. What's the opposite of that? Nathan, what's the opposite of ignorance? Microphone is the opposite.
Virtuous?
No, virtuous has to do with your character and having a good character. Okay, David?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yes. If you're ignorant, that means you don't know anything. Knowledge means you have understanding of things. Okay, Yuri, how about number 12, increase? Got a microphone.
Reduce.
Reduce, yes. If you're going to increase something that's making it bigger, reduce makes it smaller. All right, Elijah, how about number 13 for remarkable? Microphone. Elijah, what did you have?
I didn't know number 13, 14, and 15.
Can I see what you have? So you don't have any of them done? There are only 3 words left. You could have easily picked through what was left.
No, I didn't do any of them.
Well, you didn't tell me that. You said you didn't do 13, 14, and 15. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I did.
So you didn't do page 250 either?
250, no.
Okay. Who else didn't do page 250 besides Schlock? Because I know he wasn't, because he was in the hospital all day. You didn't either, Yuri?
It was only Think A, right?
What's that?
It was only Think A, right?
It's only Think A, yeah. It was just Think A that you were supposed to do. So, all right. So let's do this then. Yes, Elizabeth, you didn't do yours either? The microphone.
I had 4 questions. I
Yeah,
didn't
four-
answer 4 of them.
For Think A, you mean, in 260?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. And there are going to be some that people aren't familiar with. Let's do this then. Let's go to, here's going to be your assignment. And then I will have a discussion with a couple of people. So if you didn't get that done, you better get it done for tomorrow. On 250, you're going to do Remember B. Okay, so write it down in your booklet. Remember B. And write C. Basically writing sentences using the following words. And I don't care if you do it, if you combine some, that's fine. You can do that. And then 251, which is the puzzle. Wow, that one's going to be a difficult one. Okay, you're basically solving the puzzle with synonyms and antonyms and homonyms. It says, for instance, let's look at that first one. All right, how should that be different? There are so many that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow.
I think I have it.
Yeah, so there are 5 words that should be different. So what do you have, David?
Sunrise.
What's that?
Sunrise.
Where are you? Think A on 251.
Oh,
We haven't done it yet. I was just telling you about it, but I was just telling you. The first one, there are 5 words that should be different. The second one, there are 3 words that should be different. So write these down. The third one, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. That should be different. Number 3. Make sure you write those down. Yeah, that one's going to be hard. Let's do the puzzle together really quickly because you guys will not be able to do it. I can tell you that right now. So the homonym let's do 3 across, or let's do 1 down since we had. What's the antonym of sunset? That one should be easy. What's the opposite of sunset, everybody? Just go ahead, Alina. Go ahead, Alina.
Sunrise.
Sunrise, yeah. So sunrise. Okay, 2 down. Antonym or opposite of below. I mean above. Sorry, opposite of above. Nathan?
Below.
Yeah, opposite of above would be below, B-E-L-O-W. Now, let's do 3 across. 3 across, the homonym for hue, H-E-W, it has to sound the same, David? David? Sorry to put you to sleep, but can you tell me the answer? Instead of H-E-W, there was another one we did. It's about color, actually. That's what the word means. H-E-W doesn't mean color, but the other one does. The other hue does. Anybody else know how to spell that one? Go ahead, Dave.
H-U-E?
Yeah, H-U-E. H-U-E is how you spell that one. Of course, they give you the hint, ends in an E, because that was what below was. So what about 3 down then? Elizabeth? 3 down, which says homonym for hour. It obviously has this. Yeah, so how do you spell that?
H-O-U-R.
Very good, H-O-U-R. So hour for that one. Let's go to, let's see. How about 7 across? What do you think? Nathan, can you get that one? A synonym for car. Another word for car. You got a microphone off.
It looks like automobile.
Automobile, and that would fit because the second letter is U and the 4th letter is an O. And so automobile, in fact, the 3rd from the last letter is an I, so that helps out as well. So automobile. So what about 7 down then? A synonym for a female performer. What's a female performer synonym for that? That starts with an A. Somebody who performs for other people. Hey, Elizabeth? No. What do you call people who perform like on movies or in a play, but it's a female? Okay, Tejas, microphone. Okay. You have a Yuri or no? Go ahead.
Actress?
Yeah, an actress. So it's A-C-T-R-E-S-S, actress. What about 9 across? Synonym for a gang on a ship. What do you call the people on a ship? The people who are working on the ship. What are they called? Starts with a C.
Crew.
Crew, yeah, C-R-E-W. Of course, you knew the second letter was an R already, and the last letter was a W, so that made it easy. All right, how about 8 down now? Synonym for an instructor. Starts with a T. What do you think, Ella? What do you call an instructor?
Teacher?
Yeah, teacher. There you go. T-E-A-C-H-E-R. Guys are starting to get the idea now, right? It's a little bit easier. Let's go over to 11 across now. You know it starts with an R. There's a C as the 3rd letter. So 11 across, which says a synonym for wealth. What's another word that starts with an R that means wealth? Okay, Tejas, go ahead. Microphone.
Rich?
Well, you're close, but there's 6 letters. And rich would be a synonym for wealthy, not for wealth itself. Okay, Nathan, go ahead.
Riches.
Yeah, riches. Riches. R-I-C-H-E-S. Let's go back up to 5 down, because I don't think we've done that one yet. 5 down, a homonym for horse. Obviously, it means horse, right? But how do you spell that other one? Does anybody know? You know what the other one means? Who can tell me what the other horse means?
Oh.
Anybody ever heard of somebody being hoarse before? You mean they had a tail and then they neighed? No, not that kind of horse. When somebody is hoarse, what can they not do? Gary? You don't look like you know. Hey, Lena, what?
They can't speak.
Yeah, they can't speak. They're hoarse. How is that spelled? Anybody? Okay, go ahead, Nathan.
H-O-A-R-S-E.
Correct. H-O-A-R-S-E. Okay, they're hoarse. So then on the very end, on the right side, it says 6 down. A homonym for W-E-A-K, weak. What is it? Homonym. It means it sounds exactly the same but spelled differently. Come on. This is an easy one. Go ahead. David? Hear this.
W-E-E-K.
W what?
W-E-E-K.
Yes, like 7 days. I heard I've seen a bumper sticker before, and I've seen a little meme where it said 7 days, D-A-Y-S, makes one W-E-A or W-E-E-K, and 7 days makes one W-E-A-K. Or 7 days without prayer makes 1 week, W-E-E-K, and then 7 days without prayer makes one W-E-A-K week as well. So it works both ways. But that's used as a homonym in that sense. Okay. So now we've got about 12 across on the left side in the middle there. A homonym for R-I-G-H-T, right. Ends in an E. What other rights are there besides R-I-G-H-T? Okay. Ella, what do you think? How about Angelica? She's quiet over there. Me looking at her ceiling. Everybody looking at her ceiling. Angelica, what's a homonym for R-I-G-H-T? Microphone. So what other right is there? How do you spell it?
R-W-R-O-T-E.
That's the past tense. What's the present tense?
Oh, W-R-I-T-E.
Very good. So right, W-R-I-T-E. 10 down. Elijah. 10 down says the antonym of up. What's the opposite of up?
Down.
I couldn't hear you because your microphone, but
Down.
yeah, down. So put down there. Since we're there, why don't we do 10 across now? Homonym for do. What's another spelling for do? Right, Alina?
D-E-W.
Well, that is true. So let's look at 4 down to see if that would work. What's the antonym of go, opposite of go?
Come.
Yes, come. So does D-E-W work there then? No. So what's another one? Because you're right, there are 3 homonyms there. Okay, Tejas, go ahead.
D-U-E?
Yeah, D-U-E, like something is due, to be paid, or something due to be turned in, or something like that. All right, so now we're at, let's see where we are. Okay, let's look at 14 across. It's right off of actress there. 14 across says homonym for S-E-A. What's another way of spelling C? Shock, how about you? Let's get you involved here.
Oh, SEE.
Yeah, SEE. Okay, good. SEE. And then what about, let's see, how about 13 across? We haven't gotten that one yet. 13 across is the antonym or opposite of full. Go ahead, Yuri.
Empty.
Yeah, empty. Empty would be the opposite of full. All right. Then 15 across. Now we're in almost a new section here. Ends in an S, and it's antonym or opposite of minus. Okay, go ahead, Nathan.
Plus.
Yeah, plus. Obviously, opposite of minus. No, it's addition, Mr. Jones. No. That would be the opposite of subtraction, would be addition. All right. Ella, how about 16 down? It starts with an L, and it's a synonym for slothful. One that I used often. Go ahead, Ella.
What does slothful mean?
Tell her, what does slothful mean, everybody?
Slow.
But it starts with an L, not with an S. Sloth is slow, but that's not. Slothful is a word used to describe. Go ahead, anybody. Say it.
Lazy.
Lazy, yeah. So slothful is lazy, Ella. Of course, you're not lazy, I'm sure, at all. Not one bit. All right, how about 21 across then? The synonym for nothing, as far as it can, like in math. What's the synonym for nothing? It starts with a Z. It's the only math term you know that starts with a Z. David?
Zero.
Zero. Zero. Z-E-R-O.
Where are we? Wait. Never mind.
Okay, the very last one there on the bottom on the left, 23 across. A synonym for bashful. Ella, that's another one you don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Ew.
Yeah.
What was one? One of them was named Bashful. What did we know about him? He was what?
I don't remember.
He'd be like, "Oh shucks." Didn't want anybody to see him because he was.
Oh.
Who called my name? Go ahead, Elizabeth. What'd you say?
That?
Yeah, shy. So yeah, good job. Okay, so shy. Shy. All right, now we're back on 17 across. We're almost done here. The opposite of wrong. Everybody?
Right.
Right. R-I-G-H-T. And then for 18 down, it's the homonym for G-A-I-T. It sounds the same, but it's spelled differently. Do you know how that's spelled, Giselle? G-G? No? What is it called? Go ahead and turn your microphone and tell me what it is. Say the same thing as G-A-I-T. Go ahead. Just say it. Hold on, Nathan. Hold on. I'm going to say it, G-A-I-T, the homonym for G-A-I-T. That means it sounds exactly the same. So say G-A-I-T. What does it sound like it should sound like? What does it look like it should sound like?
Gate.
Yeah, and that's how, so how do you spell the other kind of gate? Try your best. Think about it, like a gate that you're going out of the yard or something. Huh? Yeah, G-A-T-E, very good. Gate. What is the G-A-I-T? Who can tell me what that is? And the guy with the special hat, tell me, or no? No? What is a gate, Nathan?
The one that's on 18 that's given.
Yeah, the one, not the answer, but what is that G-A-I-T? What does that mean?
I don't know. I thought you were asking about the other gate.
Hold on,
I
bud.
don't know.
Still in class. Can I call you back? All right, bye. So it's like the way something walks. So for instance, they'll talk about the gait of a horse, how the horse trots, and so that's what it's talking about. Its manner of walk, the way something walks. And that could be a person. It could be an animal. It could be a person. So the person's gait. All right. So how about 19 down? A homonym for toe. What would that be? Pages.
T-O-W?
Yeah, toe, like you're towing a car. So toe. T-O-W. And then 22 across, which is the opposite of strong. All right. Do you have it, Tejas? I mean, Yuri?
Weak.
Weak. How do you spell it, though? How do you spell it?
W-E-A-K.
Yes, W-E-A-K. Very good. Okay. All right. And then the last one, 20 down, homonym for D-E-E-R. Let's pick on Elijah. Go ahead, Elijah. Microphone. So it sounds just like deer, but it's spelled differently. So how should it be spelled?
D-E-A-R.
Correct. D-E-A-R. Very good. All right. Now, okay, so pay close attention. You have a quiz. Oh, you have a question, Yuri?
Yeah. What was number 4 down?
4 down.
Yeah.
Oh, we never did that one, did we? What did you get? What do you think it is? Yeah, we did do that one. We did that one. What was the opposite of, or the antonym or opposite of go? Hold on, Nathan. We said it. We did say it.
Stay?
Go, stay. I could see how you might say that, but it would actually be kind of the opposite of way you're walking. Like if somebody says, I'm going to go over there, but they're going to what over here? 4-letter word ends in an E. If you want them to get to where you are, what do you tell them to do? Huh?
No.
Pay attention, Yuri. If you want them to get to where you are from over there, what do? You tell them to what?
Come.
Yeah, come here. So opposite of go is come there. Okay, Nathan, you have a question? Yes.
Did we do 10 down?
10 down. 10 down. Yes, we did.
Oh, okay.
We did. I don't know about you, but we did. Yes, Giselle, you have a question? Or you just want to stick a pencil in your head?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Which question?
We do 15.
We did 15, I believe. Yes, we did. What's the opposite of minus?
Plus.
Yeah, so you got it. All right, Schlock, you have one?
I got 2. I got 3. What is 3 across and 3 down and 9 across?
Well, you figure it out. Tell what 3 down is. It says the homonym, which means it sounds the same as O-U-R, hour. But how would you spell hour in a different way besides O-U-R?
H-O-U-R.
Okay, so that would be that one for 3 down. So then for 3 across, it says the homonym for hue, so it sounds the same as H-E-W, but how do you spell it? It has to do with color, the type of color, the hue of the color.
H-U-E.
Yeah, H-U-E. And then what was the other one?
9 across.
9 across. Find it here. All right. So that one was synonym for a gang on a ship, or like the people who are on the ship, the ones that work there. What do you call them? Because you know it starts with a C, and it has an R as the second letter. You know what? You should have that written in there already.
Oh, I already have that written there.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, any other questions on that? All right. So, in your packet, there should be a quiz 11, which is homonyms, synonyms, homonyms, and antonyms. So, you are going to identify which, how the words are compared to each other. You have a set of 2 words, kind of like, sort of like we did here. Don't forget to remember being right C, and then do quiz 11 as well. Okay? Any other questions on that? All right. So, yes, David, you have a question, or are you just saying goodbye?
Harry Platypus has left the meeting.
I couldn't hear you. Oh, it looks like he left. All right, so. Oh, thank you, Yuri. Was it on the Skype? Okay. So Elijah and Tejas, hang out for a minute, and then yes, Nathan, what's your question?
So we do remember B, write C on 250, and write think A on 251.
Yes, and then the quiz 11.
Okay.
And then for those that didn't finish the other stuff, finish the other stuff. All right. So we'll see everybody later. I need to talk to Tejas and Elijah really quickly. And have a good day, guys. See you later. Stop the recording.